Is this the last 5th gen brand new Ram 2500 to hit the Big Dog Builds workshop? I'm not too sure. I'd have to look at the order sheet and see what else is coming in before Christmas. But brand new Ram 2500, this customer scored a bargain. It was a run out special for the Ram 2500 through the ASV network. Ram Trucks Australia have now got the 6th gen Rams coming into Australia. They're getting converted right now. If you've got one on order, I want to see your name hit the inquiry sheet. But if you've got a Ram 2500 either registered or brand new coming, definitely reach out. And just remember, if you're interstate, we can get your Ram up into the workshop, do a full walk around, fly in, get a handover and drive home. I'm Dean Bleasner, the co-founder of Big Dog Builds, with well over 650 trucks now through the workshop. It's Ram 2500s just like this one here that gets me a little bit excited. We started off doing a heap of Rams at the start of Big Dog Builds. The Chevys have definitely been taking over lately, but it's Rams just like this one here with the Norweld tray on the back. Stage 1 from this customer up north. I'm keen to see stage 2 with a canopy down the track, but let's go for a full walk around, starting with the suspension, wheels and tyres, and what we've done for stage 1. When it comes to the suspension for this setup here, the customer didn't want to go overboard, but he wanted to get the basics ready for a good touring setup that isn't going to let him down no matter where he takes this Ram. So what we've done is we've installed a Carli Pin-Top leveling kit. That kit here in its stock form with no optional extras is going to be better than most kits out around the world, to be honest. The Carli Pin-Top shock setup from King Shocks in the US, they've got the all-impressive 2.5 remote reservoir shocks. And what we've done is we've chopped off the factory shock mounts up the front end and we've installed the Dominator shock mounts. The thickness in these shock mounts compared to the other ones, it's night and day. Those factory shock mounts with a heavier shock absorber, putting more pressure on them is where they snap off the axle themselves. So going in, installing that one there, this customer isn't going to be calling me from 6 months time, needing those shock mounts re-welded. And then in that kit, you've got your front coils. You've also got your adjustable Panhard rod. Your Panhard rod up the front there being adjustable is what keeps the axle centered. As you lift the vehicle up, the axle wants to kick over one way. Adjusting that Panhard rod is going to keep the track running nice and straight. You're going to get the best out of your wheels and tyres. And then we've also gone and done an optional upgrade up the front end, which is the torsion sway bar. Easiest way to describe the torsion sway bar is if you're going through wombat holes or out of a gutter. The factory sway bar is quite harsh. If you're dipping down like that, you're going to want to headbutt the window. The torsion sway bar takes that harshness out of it, makes the ride really nice and balanced and refined, but it's still nice and refined on the road if you're towing as well. We'll get up to what we've done in the rear end of the suspension up the back end in a second, but up the front end here, 2.5 inch suspension kit means 2.5 inch lift, and then it's also the 2.5 inch bore shock absorber in that kit as well. So good brand. Carli is one of the biggest brands that we do in the Fords and the Rams here. And then we've gone and installed a set of Method 323 wheels. These are the gloss black. Awesome looking combination. These are an 18x9 positive 12. The most common fitment in a Ram 2500 is 18x9 pos 18. So going out that 6mm wider is going to be that little bit more poke. But because the flares from Ram Trucks Australia, or the lack of flares from Ram Trucks Australia, means that we've gone and installed a color-coded set of Bushwhacker Extend flares. As you can see, that one's there is going to be covering the tyre nicely up the front end. We didn't have to install them at the back because we've got the Norweld tray back there, but having that extra width flare on the front here means that we can go out that tiny bit wider. And then we've gone and installed a Nitto Ridge Grappler 35, 12.5, 18 tyre. That fitment there is still inside the flare nicely, but it's not going to be poking outside the factory guards though. It would have been way too much poke. So pretty much any aftermarket wheel and tyre on this model Ram, including the new ones coming to Australia, need to get a color-coded set of flares. We've got multiple different sets of flares that we can fit, whether you're wanting an OEM style, very thin type, whether you're wanting these Bushwhacker Extends. We've got the pocket flares with the fake bolt holes, and then we've also got the DRT style flares. They've got that cool little design that we did in a recent video as well. So the front end of this Ram, this is how they come stock. In 2023, they removed those factory flares off the side, but they gave you color-coded bumpers. That was a little trade-off from Ram. The front end of the Laramie, you've got a fair bit of chrome in here. And just remember, if you did want to do any chrome deletes, even if it's partial, We can do all of that depending on what color your Ram is. We could add a little bit of color through the front there. These things look amazing in this form. This customer's undecided what sort of bar he wants to go for. And if you're wanting to get that little bit more clearance up the front end, we can do a Valance Elite kit and a little intercooler guard up the front there. That definitely looks the part. And we've got multiple lighting options to go in behind that front grille as well. So you can keep that stock front end look, still get some lights, and we can now do a hidden winch cradle in behind there. So these model here was super hard to get a hidden winch in behind the factory grille because of the intercooler size in the big Cummins, but we've now got options up the front there. And there's a few good bars on market for this one. With the new Ram that's coming, that's one feature that's going to be a little bit delayed, is who brings out the front bar first. When it comes to the side of this one here, the customer's stuck to the factory side steps. Of course, we'd have options there. We'd have options for roof racks, but for now, it was all about getting into a Ram, getting the van on the back, using the setup how this one is exactly how it is. And later on, the customer's going to be installing a Ram canopy from Norweld on the back. But for now, the Elite tray definitely looks the part. We'll walk around this one. Starting with the headboard, you've got your little water fill point up the front here, and that's where that front water tank's going to be filled from. And you got your little tap outlet on the side here as well. The cool thing with the Norweld Elite trays, all of the doors have got these new hinge on them where they're not going to just swing around and smack the panel of the vehicle. They're sort of self-locking no matter where you let go of those ones there. Having the color-coded Ram paint code in the canopy, in the tray sort of toolboxes, as well as the tray drop downs, and that side of the tray itself definitely look the part. And with the Norweld tray combo, this one here, we've also got the mud guards as well. So those ones with Norweld, depending on the wheel and tire fitment, you can move them in and out. So we've pulled them all the way out. That's going to cover that tire fitment nicely. And that method 323 on the back there definitely looks the part. The beauty with the method 323 as well, apex valve looks the part. The gloss black finish in this one here, and without having the lip bolts, very nice and easy to clean as well. And then we've got the little apex tire valves at the back there as well. And those ones mean you can deflate that tire. First time you do these little valves as well. I should do it before we start rolling one day, Josh. But the first time, it is quite sticky. And then the second time you do it, easy as. It's just a tight seal when they first been sitting around for a while, but nice and easy to deflate. That's literally going to be a matter of seconds. If you had 4 people jump out of a vehicle, you could deflate these tires down in a matter of seconds and be on the beach in no time. So that's the setup there with the apex valve. Underneath here as well with the Ram, in the back suspension, we've gone and installed the HD coils. And what we've done there is this customer's going to be using it around the property, using it to tow. We've also got the Boss triple bellow airbags up the back there as well. You can inflate those ones manually up the back, which we'll get into in a second. But when it comes to the suspension in the rear of the vehicle itself, it really comes down to the use case. There isn't a perfect option on the market for every single setup, but nice and simply, the heavier the canopy setup or the heavier the tray, the bigger the coil rate. If you've got a big canopy on the back end, having a 2500 Ram is definitely where they hit their limits. If you're in the NB2 category, we can get these up to a 5460 kilo GVM. But a 3500 Ram is where you really want to be if you've got a boat on a canopy, for example, and you're super heavy. So I'm assuming this customer, when it does come time to the canopy, we'll get him back in, we'll change that coil out, we'll give the shock absorbers a tune and a revalve as well. So what that means is we'll actually add more valving to the shock absorbers, which will handle the weight of the canopy a little bit better. And we'll find that sweet spot depending on how often the customer is going to remove the canopy. If it's staying on full time, you could valve those shocks up that little bit heavier. But for something like this here, don't go too heavy in the valving. And when that canopy's on, the airbags that sit next to the coils are going to take a fair bit of the load as well. Up the back end here, what Norweld do best is they've got everything that just bloody works. It's strong, it works, it's durable. Massive trundle drawer up the back here, and very, very usable drawer as well. Super strong runners. You could throw all of your tools and whatnot in the back there. You've got a little prep bench as well. Oh, and the team's even nice enough to give you a little touch-up paint. So PSC is the silver from Ram. If you're needing to touch up any little paint marks that you've, or the kids have opened a bloody door onto something, you've got that there. The runners from Norweld, some of the best in the market. That's why they've been around the longest. The parking sensors get installed back of the tray as well. And then you've got your collision radars and all of that good stuff that they relocate back into the factory position to make sure that they work the first time every time. The camera at the back tailgate gets relocated down there as well, so you can still see when you're hitching up. Standard 12-pin plug from Ram Trucks Australia there with the tow bar assembly. And then we've gone and installed the red and the grey Anderson plugs up the back here. With your red Anderson plug, that one's going to be direct feed to the front batteries under the bonnet. And your grey Anderson plug is going to be your 50 amp output for the caravan battery setup. It's also got the little US plug there as well. But with that setup there, 50 amp grey Anderson plug to charge the batteries in the van. The red Anderson plug is direct to the 2 batteries under the bonnet. If you're parking up the vehicle for months on end, you could plug a little AC charger to a red Anderson plug, keep those batteries topped up. Just remember to unplug it when you drive away. And that's the rear end of the vehicle. We've got a Jenny hitch going on the back here. The factory 70mm ball, it's definitely chunky, that's for sure. But this thing just looks amazing. The rear drop down sides from Norweld as well. Like I said, everything that they do, it's just quality. Every single part of it. You can drop those ones down. That one there can slide out and you can take those tray sides off in a matter of seconds. Throw a big quad bike up on the back, for example, and it's going to be nice and usable. But big mat from Norweld. The 4mm solid single plate tray is what they're known for. So it definitely looks the part. And obviously you've got the spare wheel up the back there as well. 35 will squeeze in underneath, but having the headboard there as well, if the customer wanted an extra one, they can put it on the other side. You can put that side over here, drop these sides down as well. And you can just see how much room there is there. You can just see how much area there is on the back here. With the 2 spare wheels, it'll look amazing. Jerry can on the other side if needed. And just remember as well, if you did want to do a power setup inside the cab, we've got an off-grid power setup that we can squeeze in behind the seat in the Ram. We could run a grey Anderson plug to the headboard either side, and then you could run a fridge full time next to the spare wheel, for example. When that canopy goes on though, this customer's going to have all the power setup he needs inside the Norweld canopy itself. Little tie down points that Norweld have put in there as well. Throw that side up. This one up here, and it's as simple as that, ready to go. So I love this color code against the alley. It definitely looks the part from Norweld as well. And this whole vehicle here, even though there is a lot of chrome on the vehicle, that chrome then ties back into the tray itself, and it definitely looks the part. But getting the suspension right for this customer, getting the rear end suspension dialed in, has got the H coil in the back, so your heavier coil, and the airbag assist. We also install the Carli rear sway bar end links as well. That's these things under here. When it comes to the rear sway bar, the tow performance behind a Ram 2500, if the rear is not set up correctly, is where the caravan can sway around the vehicle, and you don't want to do that one there. So you need to get that rear end dialed in nicely. Definitely makes a huge difference. Also installed a GME UHF on the bonnet mount antenna bracket as well. And this customer's ready to hook up his caravan and go. It's as simple as that. Might take it off his hands, so I might have to order a new Ram. If you've got a new Ram coming, definitely get in touch today. If you like this video, guys, check this one out here. These 2 down here are some of my favorite, and for something different, check that one out there as well.